All right.
I don't know.
I hit the report button. I'm about to. All right. This is pressure. All right. Welcome everyone to the Free2Podcast. I got with us Faye and Jitsu, and we have our guests Phemeto and Mother Coconuts. How are y'all doing? Yo.
What up, homie?
Flexing.
Yo.
We are flexing, dude.
Still having a rough day.
Working out.
Drinking all all day yesterday. Gotta do it again today.
God.
It's gonna be great.
We're drinking.
We got our drinks ready and everything as well. It's gonna be awesome.
Mhm.
It is.
Did I tell you guys about my Six Flags cup?
No.
Show us. Tell us.
Okay.
Start the
All
day.
right. It's a kind of a long story, but I went to Texas last week, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I went to Six Flags,
Mhm.
and I got thirsty, so I got a water. But then I wanted to take something home.
Is this gonna
I
end up
got
as like some dumb joke?
Huh, I
This
guess
is-
so.
No. Okay.
No,
Okay.
look at it, bro. It says 2020 on it. Kind of triggers me. What kind of
that's funny.
souvenir is
Dude,
it? But-
because of COVID, dude, they probably didn't have anyone there last summer, so they have
I know,
all
but
these
we gotta
2020
reuse
merch.
all these cups.
Yep.
We didn't sell any 2020 cups.
You see
Remember
this?
all those
Check this
2020 memes? Fuck 2020. 2020 sucks.
It's
What's
got
the
a
point of
handle.
that? That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't.
I
know
hate
what
that
the
cup.
handle is.
Throw it in the fire, dude. Destroy it. Bring it to the
But
flames of Mount
watch,
Doom.
it's sealed.
What the bro?
Oh my god.
It just spilled the
sealed.
You didn't need that.
It's spilled.
It's sealed. It's
We did
totally
not need
sealed.
that. Oh my
Nice cup you
god.
got there. Let me guess. That cup was $37.
One for the homies.
Yeah.
2020. That's it.
Jesus. Does that have alcohol in it? Because you just wasted some of
Yep.
it.
Did you put alcohol in
Disappointed.
there? Did you put alcohol in like a sippy cup?
I don't
Is that
think
what you
he's
did?
drinking anything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude, okay. Speaking of alcohol and sippy cups, my girlfriend
Oh
got
my
me
God.
wine cup sippy cups. They are.
Do you have one?
Smart idea.
Do
They're
you have
so,
one to show us?
They're in the kitchen.
Come on.
I can get up and go.
Ah, come on,
Come
bro.
on, man.
All right, well, let me go find them in a second.
Okay, he's gonna go get. Oh, he's gonna go get a sippy cup. All right. In the meantime, welcome to the
pressure.
podcast, guys.
Welcome to the
This is our
podcast,
first
everyone.
live show, so thank you for
Yeah.
being here. Thank you
Welcome,
for
you
supporting.
guys.
We have our special guest Phemeto and Mother Coconuts.
Yes.
Got
That was such a better
good
intro
show
than
planned.
mine.
Dude, it's because I'm like already, I'm already warmed up. I'm chatty. I have like a million things I want to say. I have a million
It's
things.
gonna be a
It's that
good episode,
ADHD
guys.
brain. Like,
What's
I'm
up,
ready.
Sarah?
Like, let's go.
The
Absolutely.
synapses be firing.
Oh my god.
Season 2, guys.
Yeah.
Season
This is
two.
a revenge arc, by the way. We
Revenge
just
arc.
made that up.
Do
but-
you guys want to welcome everyone?
Okay, comes back with the sippy cup.
Hold on, I gotta fill my
Bro.
sippy cup.
Hey, you guys
Okay.
all
Hey.
I'm honored that he went and got that sippy cup. I don't know about you guys. I
That
did
is
not
great.
think you would do that.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what.
Well, he did.
I
You're
have
pouring your
needed
wine
the
into
sippy
it
cup
too?
more than
Thank
once.
you.
hmm
You guys are
Mhm.
wild. And
Oh my, that's really
It's
cute.
got a little sippy
I
straw and
want
everything.
one. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
I'm surprised that you're like such a wine snob that you would even drink out of a sippy cup. You know what I mean?
I'm not that much of a snob.
Yes, you are, dude. You reamed me out for putting an ice cube in my wine. God.
Okay, that's just straight
I just
blasphemy.
like when it's cold.
You can't. That's like putting ice in whiskey as well. You can't do that shit. Put a whiskey stone in. Do
Dude.
something like that. Don't water down your.
I'm
booze.
not a fucking wine purist, okay? If I want a cold wine, I'm gonna put an
Hey, I
ice
don't
cube
think you're
in
a
it.
purist of anything.
Hey, why don't you just stick to Welch's, Faye?
Oh.
Go back to Welch's.
You know
Oh
what?
my
I
gosh.
do. I do drink Welch's grape juice, white grape juice, in fact.
Yeah?
So
I love those juice boxes, bro. But like now that I'm older, it's like 2 sips and you're done. It's like
Yeah,
a Capri
that's-
Sun.
I was just to say I love Capri Suns, but it's like one mouthful now, and I'm like, oh.
That's how you know you're an adult. Like you do that, you take the sip, like the sip of the Capri Sun, and it's just gone. And you're like, man, when I was a kid, this shit used to last me hours. You used to walk to your homeboy or homegirl's house down the block with a Capri Sun, and you weren't done by the time you walked in through the front door. And then some, they had one for you at their fucking house. It's like that and fruit by the foot. You never ran out when you were a kid. When you're an adult, you're like, this is one fucking foot. I can't even fucking. No.
dude, I wasn't
know,
allowed to have
Hubba
foot by the
tape?
foot.
Hubba Bubba tape lasted forever, bro.
That's
I
true.
wasn't allowed to
shit
have
did.
that shit.
I used
That
to
shit did.
hide my change in it when I was when I
And
ran out,
tape?
you know.
Bro,
Yeah, how'd
saving
you
money
change- wait.
starts at that age. When you
That's
needed to buy another roll of tape when you ran out of tape, what did you do? You asked your parents for money. No, you pretended everything was fine. You got like 5 cents, 20 cents to do something. Instead of going and buying another ring pop, you fucking put it in the Hubba Bubba tape. Then your parents are wondering why your pants are falling off because they're so fucking heavy and you only
There's a
got
lot
a
of
basketball
points in
shorts
it,
as a
bro.
kid. Yeah.
The
I never
oh, you're
made
talking about the gum
large
stuff. I thought you were talking
Capri
about like actual tape for a second. I forgot what it
Like a
was.
measuring tape?
No,
Yeah,
like
I ate
tape.
You
measuring
think
Like,
I
tape
walk
back in the
around
day.
with a measuring tape, bro? I'm like, hey, how long is this?
So
Is
wholesome,
this
dude.
curb?
Oh my
What's the
god.
height of this curb?
Wait, could you guys even get the straws into the Capri Sun? Because that was an issue
Yeah.
for me.
I'm sure it was,
If you
Faye.
couldn't, you have to flip it
Wait. Were
on
you
the bottom.
were you putting the side that wasn't pointy?
did
No,
you
I
put the side that wasn't pointing?
No, I put the pointy side in it. Still had trouble, man. You know what? I'm not going to talk about my struggles anymore. I wasn't even allowed to have like fruit by the foot or anything.
I'm not surprised.
That's why you're so chill. It's
Yeah.
you're mellow.
Exactly.
If you had sugar when you were a child, there was no force on earth that could have stopped that. Mama and Papa
Sugar-free
Faye said,
gummies,
please
dude.
no. You
Sugar-free
needed
everything,
sugar-free
man.
Faye. You
Oh
needed
my
a
God.
sugar-free Faye.
I wasn't even allowed to
growing up.
have like fruity pebbles or like Lucky
Man,
Charms,
your childhood
dude.
sucked.
Just plain Cheerios.
Your parents
dude.
woke up and chose protection for you. It's just straight up shelter.
I don't
Said
want to
she
talk
will
about my
not have,
childhood,
she will
man.
not have
I'm
sugar.
scarred.
No
Just a health
sugar.
condom, bro. Protection.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oh, man.
anyways, we
Well-
have a great show planned for you guys.
Planned.
Yes. So,
Yeah, we've got-
Thank you so
massive
much, fam.
plans.
Thank you so much, Coco, for coming.
Yeah, thank
We
you so
appreciate
much.
you.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Mhm.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
It's been a
It's
long
always a
time
blast.
coming for you, fam. We miss you.
100%. Now, what we usually
Yeah,
do
dude.
for like new guests and everything, since
Mhm.
Phemeto's the new person to the Free2 podcast. What is your
Mhm.
thing? What is your shtick? What do you do?
My stick?
Yes.
Well, I would say that I play Monster Hunter and do the Monster Hunter gunning thing, but I haven't played Monster Hunter in like fucking 2 weeks now. Like I'm
Hey,
taking a
wow.
good hard break from that.
Wow. I figured you'd at least be doing like some runs on the side or something.
Nope,
but-
have
Damn.
not touched it actually. But yeah, so I
Why you
do
gotta
a bunch
play
of the
Insect
YouTube
Glaive?
stuff and speed runs, and I do all gun stuff. I'm not gonna touch Insect Glaive. That is for fucking French people, and I am not that. So no glaive.
Damn.
Yeah. I have a question.
Hands
for
on, but I
Phemeto.
like that.
What's up?
I have a question for Phemeto. I want to know how you started getting into speedrunning. Like, was Monster Hunter your first game that got you into it, or like what? Tell us.
For realsies, yeah, probably Monster Hunter. I mean, I've always been like a super competitive tryhard forever, but I never really
Shocking.
speed ran game. My problem with speedrunning is I hate menuing like a lot. I fucking hate like menuing, so that's why I don't do like non-TA stuff, because a lot of that in Monster Hunter is menuing, and I just don't like that. So
Sounds terrible.
yeah, so TA rules for Monster Hunter where it's just, go out and fight stuff. I don't have to, big brain anything. I could just, fucking play.
Mhm.
I have tried doing some speedruns for like Salt and Sanctuary because I got really good at doing the bunny hop glitch and some other games, but I've never really taken it seriously.
Yeah.
And Monster Hunter, I didn't even try to get into speedrunning. I like starting like my YouTube account and stuff was just so I could post what I was doing in the demo, because I didn't have a capture card for any of the previous Monster Hunter games.
Right.
And we can capture on the PS4 just fine. And I only started speedrunning because every time I do anything in Monster Hunter or kill anything or do any hunt, I'm just like, well, you got hit. You could have done that better. And why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And then I see other people's runs like, see, you should have started it this way and
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. And it just gets to me. And I'm like, dude, just do fucking better next time. And so I just
Interesting.
keep doing the same thing over and over, because every time I'm done, I'm like, you could have done better. And so
Okay.
it's just more of a self-hate kind of thing. And
Yeah.
that's the only reason why I started doing it. And now I do it because I hate doing it, but because I do like a bunch of faith and information videos, I need to do stuff to actually back up what I'm saying, because a lot of people,
I
Okay.
see.
yeah.
So what game
Gotcha.
are you currently playing now that you're taking a break from Monster Hunter?
Yeah. Oh my god!
What the hell?
You're just playing over the podcast?
Are you playing right now?
This motherfucker's raiding in the middle of the
Playing right now?
We have audacity.
Oh my god!
Hey, you gotta give the guy some credit.
I want to thank everyone for coming out to the podcast. But,
fucking champion.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, I started playing Burning Crusade Classic since that came out, and Burning Crusade WoW was my favorite time in WoW because I was like, early high school. I was playing it, and a bunch of my friends from high school, which I haven't talked to in like 10 plus years, messaged me and told me to get on, and so we started doing that. And so I no life power leveled my hunter from 60 to 70 in 3 days. I was the second 70 on our server, and we raided Karazhan week 1, and now I'm working on my paladin. So
I have no idea what
I've
that
been doing.
means. I don't.
are you playing on a private server, or is this like WoW Classic or what?
Well, WoW Classic got updated to Burning Crusade Classic, so it's the actual servers.
Oh
Got it.
my
I'm
gosh.
glad they brought WoW Classic back, but that's cool.
I'm not gonna play past this. I didn't like Wrath of the Lich King. I just wanted to replay it again. So
Cool.
yeah, so that's what I've been up to. What have you
That's
guys
what
been
you've
up to?
That's what you've been doing.
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter or Discords or anything for like 2 weeks. I've been just fucking no-lifing this and then working.
That's
So
what an MMO will do to you, I guess.
yeah, well, I knew going in that our guild was gonna be super sweaty, and so yeah, like we got server first Grol's kill last week, and then we had we're doing raiding and stuff like week 1. So yeah,
Cool.
it's been fun.
Who else plays WoW here? I know some of you do.
I
Brian?
have not touched
Back
that
in the
thing.
day.
No?
did?
I ended in Cataclysm. I was like,
Okay.
I've had enough. I've had enough. It was too much.
Okay. Cool.
I would not recommend anyone get into it at
Yeah.
all.
I never
If you're gonna
like.
play an
It's
MMO,
hard.
play Final Fantasy or play Phantasy Star.
What MMOs are your favorite? Did Coco, do you play MMOs too?
I had Final Fantasy and I had WoW for a little bit. I actually like Final Fantasy personally better. I tried it for about 3 months, but then it's just too much time between full-time job and then coming home to stream and then
Yeah.
playing
Monster
an MMO
Hunter.
on side of that and then
Yeah.
Monster Hunter on top of that. I was like, yo,
Yeah, that's right.
it's hard. It's hard. It's fun, but it's hard, man. You
I
just need to
felt
dedicate
like-
some time.
Yeah, I felt like now was a good time to get into an MMO because I haven't really been interested in Rise at all lately. So I was like, all right, let me try like Final Fantasy. Like I've
You
never.
got like a month
I know. Well, Stories too.
in 1 month.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Stories 2 is coming out 1 month. I'm excited for that game. I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Looks really
My
good.
body is ready.
That is where I'm going to be dumping all my time. So I'm playing this for the time being because yeah, once Rise comes out, fucking we're playing or not Rise, Stories.
Stories.
Yeah,
We're gonna
Stories
be
is
all
good,
in
man.
that. I hope a lot of people get into it. Like
Mhm.
a lot
Gonna be
more
dragging
than
Apton up,
Stories.
clearing and leveling field all over the place. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
I haven't finished Stories 1. I'm like, I don't know if I want to finish it or not. I suppose
Better.
it wouldn't hurt. I guess it, like the
I mean,
second
the
one
story's
makes
supposed
sense.
to, it's supposed to take place after the first game.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
At least watch a YouTube summary of it, you know?
just
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah.
It's stream content.
True.
Yes.
Try to do that with Kingdom Hearts, bro. That game's trash. I
Wow.
don't understand the story.
I played the first Kingdom Hearts and I haven't played any of the other ones. They've looked so awful.
They
Don't do
look
it.
awful. What about Toy Story, man? This Toy Story is one of those
I want to
things.
play Kingdom Hearts RE Chain of Memories Remastered Remix 2. Come on.
2.4.
3.2 over
story?
365 days, bro. What kind of
Come
title is that?
Dude.
Oh,
But make sure you
man.
buy the Kingdom Hearts Final Edition when it includes Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Rebirth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 365 over 2, Kingdom Hearts 2.8, and then Kingdom Hearts 3.
Do you
Is
just
that
have this
2 games?
Do
memorized?
you need me to repeat that?
Yes, please.
I can't. I don't know.
Oh my
I don't remember it.
Oh
Dream
my
job.
God.
Anyways.
Oh
Dude.
my
Kingdom
God.
Hearts is trash. We all know
He
it.
he did all that in one breath.
One breath. He knew.
I feel like Kingdom Hearts
I
could have
feel like
been good. It's
As
just
much
I don't-
as Brian hates on Kingdom Hearts. I think he's like a true hardcore fan. I think he's like a hidden hardcore fan of Kingdom Hearts. I think that's what's going on right now.
Dude, I hate Kingdom Hearts, but at the same time, love it.
It's fun.
It's so cheesy.
Dude,
like, oh my god.
It's all about friendship, right?
Yeah, the power of friendship. The
Bro,
friends.
if I want that, I
Power
just
of
watch
friendship.
Captain Planet. That's easy. The worst kid in Captain Planet, bro, was the kid with the power of love. Like,
Yeah, that was
he
the
could have
worst
controlled the wind. It could have controlled the heat rays, but
It's
he just had a pet monkey.
Oh my lord.
That's all he needed.
Best
That's all
bets.
he needed.
that's all you need.
All right, so who are we talking about? E3? Anyone keeping up with E3?
Are we just talking about
I
Elden
haven't-
Ring?
I
Are we
haven't
just gonna
watched
talk about
anything,
Elden Ring?
'cause-
Is that all we're
so
talking
you're gonna
about?
have to
'Cause I
fill
feel
me
like-
in.
Dude, like I was outside on Thursday pulling weeds in the garden. I checked Twitter when I come inside, and an Elden Ring trailer dropped. So I was like, "What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
what the actual fuck?"
Yeah.
Out of fucking nowhere.
It looks amazing. It looks
I
so
did
good.
see Elden Ring.
Looks really
Yeah.
The Elden Ring looks real good.
Yeah, looks dope.
100% gonna be playing that.
Well, I mean, it looks like it's literally just Souls, but like more open worldy, which
Open
is
world.
fucking.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing I want out of it, like, because I was a huge fan of like Chalice dungeons and Bloodborne, but I want like the open world to have just random like dungeons that you could just stumble across and find gear and bosses in.
Mhm.
I'm actually really stoked to like use that mount that they showed because like you go in this like wave thing and jump all the way up on top of a
I was
cliff.
surprised with the mount. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm really excited about that. Of like all things, I'm like, dude, this mount looks awesome.
Yes.
So like it showed the mount, like it showed you running across this like cliff, like Pride Rock thing from Lion King. I'm like, oh my, that looks so good. So
Mhm.
yeah, and it looks like it's gonna be 4-player, up to 4 players, maybe.
I
I mean, they showed in. I think
Well,
so.
I mean,
think
yeah,
it,
yeah,
I
they
think it
always
says
have
it on their
something.
website. I think it says on their website up to 4 people.
Oh, is it gonna be
Yeah, I
like the
wouldn't be
same thing as
surprised.
the previous games? Like kind of like where they come to your world and they kind of like there a little bit, but not really fully.
Well, they showed in the trailer the character using this like cube, and he like clenches
Yeah,
it, and like
yeah,
2
some of
summons
those.
show up. So it looks, it's probably going to be something like that. I don't know for sure though.
Okay,
So we'll see. Yeah,
sounds interesting.
yeah. Don't know if there's going to be PvP though, which I don't really.
Yes, there will. It's a Souls game.
Yeah, you never know. There was no PvP in Sekiro or
Is someone
anything.
gonna invade? Is that what's gonna happen?
That's
They're gonna we're gonna get a
But
lot of
if
invaders.
it's got multiplayer, it's got PvP.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I think that's fair if it's got multiplayer.
But like, how would they do that in an open world game though? Like, they could spawn like fucking anywhere. Like, there's got to
and
be
then
like,
they could
there's
just
got to
hunt you
be
down.
a set area.
Okay,
for them
did
to
any of you
spawn
guys
in.
play Hunt Showdown?
No.
Okay, so
I seen it.
okay, so in Hunt Showdown, whoever has like the marker from the boss, like other people can use like this eyesight, and they'll just see like lightning bolts from the sky pointing to the direction of a person.
Mhm.
I want it to be like
cool.
that, where you just invade randomly in the world, and then you just see like little lightning bolts or some little indicator of like, hey, the person's around that area, and then you're not gonna know where the invaders are, but they're gonna know where you are.
Oh shit.
Oh,
That's scary.
surprise. Yeah.
That's gonna sound sick. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my. But
How about the rest of E3? Has anyone been paying attention to it?
I watched the Square Enix one today. They
haven't
showed
seen
fuck
any of it.
all. They didn't show any Final Fantasy 16. They showed a new Final Fantasy that looks edgy as fuck. Okay, and they had these people talking after. They showed Final Fantasy chat. What's the name of the new Final Fantasy games? Like Final Fantasy Origins or something.
Mhm.
And they were like, "Oh, it looks like the Dark Souls of Final Fantasy. It looks like the Neo." I'm like, "What are these people talking about? This looks nothing like Neo. Nothing like it." I feel like people just love throwing that into like any new game that comes out and has like a dark fantasy theme.
Mhm.
It's Neo. It's Dark Souls. It's a Souls like.
Can you dodge? Yeah, it's a Souls game.
what is it called? Strangers by Paradise?
Yeah, Strangers by Paradise. Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
What's with Square and having these like fucking ridiculous titles to their games?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks
It's-
cool.
It's almost as bad as Revengeance.
Revengeance.
Oh my god, yeah.
Do you
I think there's a demo today or something. Someone said there was a demo of it today.
Possibly. Do you feel like there's gonna be in the future with games, is gonna be like the anime where they're gonna like have huge, long extended titles for their games?
I hope
Wouldn't
not.
surprise me.
Yeah, they definitely will.
Yeah, I feel like it'll get to that point eventually. Like with anime, there's been so many new titles that's just like the names have been just like obnoxiously long. That we're gonna get like Dark Souls, the man who rides a horse into the other world, or something like that. Just like
And
a
then
huge
someone's
title.
gonna come out with a title that just says the game. Fucking play it. Just like join. Just do this.
Play like 180.
There's a game called This Is Not a Game that's out, and it's really funny. And it's just like literally you just clicking through, and then there's a narrator just being like, "What are you doing here? This is not a game." And it's just like
Oh my
a
God.
whole like fourth wall breaking kind of game. It's funny.
Wasn't there a game
Yeah, I
like
remember
that already?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like there's a game like that. It's called This Is Not a Game.
This is
and
not
then
a
it's
game.
like there's a narrator.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of something else, but okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's really funny. I would definitely recommend it.
Well, the
There's another-
Sacrifice is coming out.
What is it?
What's it called?
Oh,
Ooh.
yes, I did see that.
Ooh, that
Hey,
game is really
Place,
good.
Salt and Sanctuary.
No, I'm trash at platformers. Isn't it a
Fucking play
platformer?
Kinda.
Yes, kind of. I
Kinda.
highly suggest Salt and Sanctuary.
That's what
It
everyone
is-
said about like Hollow Knight, that like, oh, if you
God.
like Souls games, play Hollow Knight, and I'm like, no way.
It's a lot less platformy than Hollow Knight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you
Actually.
were a fan of
It's got-
platformers.
It's
I'm
pretty
excited
minimal
to play Hollow
platforming.
Knight.
But
if you know how to iframe, you'll have a good time with Salt and Sanctuary.
yeah,
Okay.
but like
Fair enough.
Salt and Sanctuary came out in like 2009 or something. It's been like 12 years, and I always talk about it. I'm like, dude, this game was so ahead of its time, and I love Souls games, and it's like my favorite like Souls-like game.
Mhm.
And just randomly, they like I talked to Mocha like last week, like, dude, like we need a new Salt and Sanctuary, and then they just fucking drop it on
A
us.
day later, they're just like,
That's so cool.
He messaged me too, and I remember waking up and like looking, like turning over or something, and it's just Salt and Sacrifice is coming out. I was like, no fucking way! And then I looked it up, and then I was like, oh my god! Like I freaked out as well. We both were like freaking out over the announcement because we were just talking about it before.
Because like the
Interesting.
studio that made it, Ska Studios, is just two people, and they just like they've made like a couple games, and I don't think they've done anything in like since Salt and Sanctuary. Maybe they did like one other game, but it's been like a decade since they've done anything, and so I thought their studio was just kind of dead.
Right.
And then they fucking dropped this, and I'm like, oh my god! And it's got actual multiplayer. So like my biggest gripe with Salt and Sanctuary, it's got like local multiplayer only. So you have like
Co-op only.
two
Oh.
controllers and a PlayStation or whatever. But this one has actual online multiplayer, and
Kinda
that's gonna
dope.
make it so awesome.
One
Yeah,
of the only
I'll
games
look
I bought
into
on PlayStation, and I ended up buying it on my MacBook and things like that on Steam, just so I can carry that around and play with my friends
Wow.
wherever. And I
Dude,
was like
I have
plugging in
it.
my TV and stuff, man.
I have it
So good.
twice on PS4. I have it on Steam, and I have it on the Switch.
Yep.
Damn.
It's one of those games where like you just have to buy on all platforms. Like that's Resident Evil 4 for me. Literally every platform
Really?
I own it. Yeah.
Wow.
It's that good. If you guys haven't
It
played
is.
Salt and Sanctuary, fucking play it. Like it's like $5 on most platforms nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Salt and
so
Sanctuary.
good. Yeah.
It's such an experience too, because like it's not linear. It's very non-linear
Oh.
where you can like if I like me, fam, if everyone in this chat right now played it, I'm pretty sure a lot of us would experience different bosses in different orders, and some people would actually miss zones fucking completely, dude. They're like, yo,
Wow.
how'd you get
Wow.
this weapon, or how'd you do this? And we're like, in the blah blah blah, and you're like, where the fuck is that? I beat the game. I'm like, oh, no, you didn't.
Because there's a bug tech for button hopping that allows you to jump hella far, and they never removed it. But you can get to like any part of the game without needing any like the progression items. So if you're good enough, so you can just kind of go wherever.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's really fun.
That's really
I remember my second playthrough, I ended up skipping and like going straight through and busting through a few bosses that you shouldn't be fighting that early. And like it just unlocked so much shit that I wanted to bring with me to the early bosses just to be like just have that power, just like wow. Like, no,
Shot 'em,
watch
bro.
this.
There's some other games that are like that. I forget what they're called, but I don't know. There's like some some places you can just. That might have been Genshin for me. I started the game and I went to a boss immediately, And my entire chat was just like, no, don't do it. And I'm like, nah, I want to do it. I want to see how I could take this. Immediately gets one shot when I enter the ring. I was like,
Smooth.
yes.
What platform are you guys gonna get stories to?
You know what? I haven't really decided. I kind of want it on the Switch because I know the Steam version is going to be just full of like hacks and stuff online, and I think there's going to be a lot of co-op and online stuff. So I think I might just play it on the Switch instead.
I might do
Good point.
as well.
The idea of going mobile with it is perfect too, because I had Monster Hunter Stories on my phone, and like that's whenever I played it when I was out. So.
Yeah, you just randomly pick it up and
Let's go.
try and get an egg.
Yeah. I like that actually about it.
I know it's going to run better on the PC. Like, obviously, we'll probably have like 60 plus frames and all sorts of options and whatever. But I think for a more healthy gameplay experience, probably play it on the Switch.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do single player and you have the ability to do PC, you probably would want a PC single player if you don't care about mobility. But if you're gonna actually do multiplayer or do co-op with a friend or randoms even and things like that, and also the cross content with Monster Hunter Rise that that Rise 2 that Stories 2 is gonna have, but there's another good reason to get it on the Switch. So
Yeah.
All the extra bonus content,
The story looks really good. Like they revealed like a lot more during the E3 and like how much like development with the characters and everything. I'm really excited. It's gonna be really cool. I love how they gave all the evil characters like Nergy armor and all the dark.
Dude, all the evil characters look badass.
They look insane. I'm like, all right, I want to be evil now because they look cool.
Well, and like the evil people have a Nergigante as their monster. I'm like, dude, that's fucking killer.
Yes. It also makes
I
me
haven't
sad
really seen.
because I haven't seen gore in a game in a long time now.
Yeah. Were there
Yes.
elder dragons in the Stories 1?
There were. I think the only one you can actually
Kieran.
use as a monster is Kieran.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
But yeah, you can fight like Kush, Tio, Fayetalis, and
Word.
I don't think Chameleos was in it. I think it was just those three.
Wasn't TO Japanese exclusive or Kush?
I think both
It
of
was
them.
an update. Both of them were. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are monsters that are available.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Uh,
I
but yeah,
really need to
Stories 2 is
play
gonna have,
Stories
like,
1.
So like Stories 1, I think had like 50 monsters in it or something. Stories 2 is gonna have like 120. It's gonna be crazy.
I love that.
120 in Stories 2?
It's basically like every monster, like
The
outside of
whole roster?
Frontiers, like every fucking monster is gonna be there.
So I
I
can
mean, the
still pull-
Legiana looks so cool.
The
I
Legiana
wanna
looks
like
really
that.
cool, actually. The
Give me a
The art in general is really cool.
Yeah.
What I've seen in general, the upgrade system is very similar to what Stories 1 was. And I actually like that a lot because, again, the whole situation of like you can go up against anybody with the same monstie, but they could have customized it themselves. Like, I know this one viewer in particular who's going to get a full team of Aptonauts and have different elements on each one and just barrel roll the game with these things. Because apparently, if you build it right, you can make like Dragon Aptonaut, Thunder Aptonauts, and all these different versions, and they can just steamroll. Like, if you build them right, it's hilarious.
Well, yeah, it's like
So,
Pokemon. I
that's
feel
like
like Eevee,
a thing for
Ivy
everyone.
Train. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of
you can make
awesome.
some nasty monsters.
That's super dope.
So that's what like I really like too, because like you think like the original Pokemon games had like 150 Pokemon, or
Yeah.
Stories 2 is gonna have 120. But think of it like if you had Pokemon, but you can change all the types of Pokemon by breeding them differently. Like
Yeah.
it's like that. It's gonna be fucking insane.
I hope
Mhm.
Sephiroth
It's
is in
gonna
the
be
game.
interesting. Dude, I'm gonna...
He will be.
If
He will
Gore...
be. He wasn't Stories 1.
Can we have
Good.
Gore?
You
I
gotta
can't-
have a party of
Dude.
I can't wait for
Gore.
SkojSkull to lose against the Sephadrome, like AI. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be a good day.
If they
Watch
throw it in the
Sephiroth be
story,
like the first large monster boss.
Was Sephiroth announced for this game?
He's gonna be in it.
No.
He was in the first one. He'll be in the
roster's like
second
No.
one.
An announcement, dude.
No.
they're gonna give you a Velociprey, and you're gonna have to go up against the Cephadrome with the Velociprey. That's it. That's the setup.
No.
That's your story, Skoy.
We need Gore.
Yep.
Screw Sephiroth. We need Gore.
Yes, I have hopes that Gore's gonna be in it, but I don't want to lose that hope because like Gore's one of those monsters. Like I don't see him coming back in anything. As much as
Gore?
everyone
And,
fucking loves
the Monster Hunter movie sequel, bro.
I
can't
don't know what
wait.
you're talking about. That doesn't exist. What?
Okay, no, I don't want gore in the next Monster Hunter movie. I'm sorry.
Dude, I can't believe like how much of a tease that was, dude.
There was not even a minute of footage for gore. It was just like,
But they made like posters and stuff about it, like with gore on it, and like he was at the end for like seconds. So I was like, okay.
He was a cameo up here. He was a Stan Lee cameo. He's like, I'm Gore, and that's it.
and they butchered Insect-Glaive. I'm so sad about that.
There's no bug, right?
There's no bug. No bug at all. Oh man. Oh my gosh. But yeah, what was endgame for Stories 1? Is there like any really form of endgame, or is it kind of just like making your team stronger in any way or fashion?
There is. So I assume we'll probably have a similar endgame to in Stories 2, but basically you have two things. You have like a hidden maze kind of thing where that's where you kind of find Kieran. It's kind of like an endless RNG generated area that you can just catch and do stuff. And then you have a tower, which is like a progressively harder 50 floor dungeon that you can clear, you know, whenever you want and get rare monster eggs and stuff that way.
Right.
So you have two different kind of end games on top of your standard, you know, egg grinding. So yeah, I mean, there's end game to do. I assume they're gonna have that plus more in Stories 2. So I'm kind of excited. Like it'll be like Pokemon. Dude. There's like when you're doing like egg gene farming and stuff, like that's gonna take forever.
Yeah.
But I actually was gonna say I enjoyed the egg gene farming and the rare shiny farming and hunting in Stories 1. The way that they generated that system of knowing if it was a good gene pool or a good egg or one of the rare monsters or even the sub-colored monsters and things like that. I like that system, and I didn't find it incredibly time consuming to get a whole team of shinies, so to speak, where if in the Pokemon series, if you're familiar with any of that, the way to do that kind of stuff is it is an art form in itself for the borderline, if not already there, insane. Like it's involved. So it's kind of cool to have a little bit of an easier introduction to that kind of stuff.
A lot simpler, yeah.
Cool.
Stories 2 hard.
I'm getting excited now. I really
like the graphics of that game.
It's
really
so
good.
like that'll never
It's
be
such
dated.
a good step up. Like from the
I would have loved to have seen a Monster Hunter game in that engine.
I think we all
I
like something
think
like
that'd
that.
be really
Yeah, I think
cool.
we all collectively want that for sure. Now, the little elf girl Ina with the white hair, her voice acting sounds exactly like Zelda from Breath of the Wild. I wonder if it's the same person. It
could
sounds
be.
exactly like
could
her
look
with
it
that
up.
like.
You could Google it.
Yeah.
I know. I just haven't. Just wonder if anyone else noticed or if it's just me. I noticed
I'll have to
because I
listen to something
cannot.
side to side.
I'm not a huge fan of that like version of Zelda, so I'm like wondering if it's her or not.
That's stuck in your mind forever. It lives in your head.
Yeah,
forever.
I'm just kind of like a little
How
triggered.
did you feel about the
know?
voice acting? Because this is like the first time introducing it in Breath of the Wild, wasn't it?
Like
Bro, they introduced voice acting in Monster Hunter Rise. What do you mean? So good.
What do you mean? All my characters and everyone else's characters I play with are muted. They don't say shit for me.
I just said all the noises
Betty,
like
dude.
zero.
Tom Betty from the demo. That's just a.
Yeah. But speaking of the graphics though, like I think
I had to fucking learn how to dodge things without having to listen to my character go, Dom Betty, like, oh, there's the ult coming.
But with that type of graphics, I feel like it's like that'll never get dated. Like their graphics, like with Monster Hunter World, that'll get dated eventually. Other games like that, like Wind Waker, now Breath of the Wild and Breath of the Wild 2 that's coming out, and Monster Hunter Stories and Stories 2. I feel like those graphics will always, like, you always look back on that. Yeah, they're timeless, and I feel like it'll never get dated.
Point.
Yeah, no, I agree, because it's not trying to be like a serious, realistic look, and there's a lot more leeway on what's acceptable.
Yep.
Well, when you have setups like that, it's like part of the storytelling is in the complexity of the graphic system. So if you have something like World at the time, the storytelling was more breathtaking at the time, and you were much more immersed and involved into this game if you were playing it while it was very relevant. But like you guys say, over time, these graphics will get better, and things are going to start looking much more realistic, and that's where the quote unquote immersion, but that's where that target demographic is. With like SkojSkull said, your Wind Waker, things like that are that style of like graphical prowess. The storytelling in that isn't from what you're seeing, it's through the facial emotions of the character. Link didn't have to say a word in that game. You saw the facial emotions that he put out in the other characters, and you knew what was happening. So like there's no like physical brain processing happening saying this look pretty, this good. It's more like, oh, facial expression, this guy looks like he's in pain, or this sucks, oh, this must suck. I'm gonna remember this scene for the rest of my life because that's what I'm gonna like. That's kind of cool to see that difference.
Yeah, dude, I wonder if we're gonna get Breath of the Wild 2 stuff tomorrow. I think tomorrow's is Nintendo or Tuesday?
Tuesday's Nintendo.
So okay, so I've been kind of out of it for E3. What has been like? What places haven't shown their stuff yet?
Capcom is tomorrow, so that's Monday, and then Tuesday is going to be Nintendo stuff. So I imagine we're going to get a lot of news about Rise, Phoenix Wright, and what was it? Stories 2.
Stories 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. They showed a lot in Stories 2 now.
So get ready.
What are they going to show?
I don't think they need to show anything else.
A lot of info on Stories 2, man.
What do you guys think they're going to show for Rise? Do you guys think they're going to show like a curveball and like show some more like really big content, or do you guys just think they're going to reveal stuff about the?
What was the roadmap? Like, when is the next collaboration?
Like it's just
collaboration.
Capcom collabs.
I think it's a Nintendo collaboration. So.
Yeah.
Let my Palico be Isabelle again.
Oh please, that'll be so fun.
Yeah, I need my Isabelle Palico.
That would actually be really great. I think that'll be really interesting. But
well, here's the thing. So I know we're gonna get like a Nintendo collab, but like, are they gonna go like all out like they did with like Final Fantasy and Witcher and have like actual new monsters and like unique quests to go with them? Or are they gonna be like before, where it's just like, okay, go hunt like a Garuga and then you get like Nintendo themed gear?
You know, it'd be interesting if they decided to take spin-offs of what they've done with GU with like those type of collabs, but add like a new monster or something related that you're fighting against. Like if they did a Metroid collab, something from the Metroid universe, like a space pirate or something that they could skeleton.
Ridley would be perfect.
You could make Ridley. Actually, that would be perfect. That actually could be good. Even if it was, honestly, I would be kind of cool if it was just a reskin that you could, after killing it, turn on and off for that specific monster. So if you're fighting, I don't know what monster could Valstrax and turn it into Ridley.
Okay,
and it's just the skin you turn on. That would be cool.
and for you, the other Garuga quest for Ridley.
Yeah.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, it was literally just a big Garuga, which is fine. But yeah, I just didn't know if they were going to do something like that where it's just, here, you get to fight this monster and then get it, or you can, get an actual, update with the new monster and because
what I'm excited
I really like the Witcher quest too.
I was gonna say what I'm excited for regardless too is that it's not gonna be on rotation either. Once they give it to us, it's ours, and I can play it offline and all that shit. They just have to download it once, like give me. Like I don't want to have to wait like 2 months from now to get this back in rotation to get the chance of getting this. I'm looking at you, Devil May Cry, potent shit. But
oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're for Nintendo, I think they're gonna announce Devil May Cry, or Capcom is gonna announce Devil May Cry on the Switch tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Very well, like The Witcher.
How was The Witcher on the Nintendo? Did you play it, Brian?
Potato May Cry.
No, I mean with the Switch Pro, maybe they'll talk about Switch Pro stuff on Tuesday too for Nintendo.
Maybe.
There's been so many rumors, and I think it's been like pretty much almost confirmed. They just need to really like announce it now. I think that's pretty much
What
it.
are they gonna do for a Switch Pro? Like, is it still gonna be handheld? Because like in order for them to do like a pro version, like
I think it's gonna be
handheld is gonna bring it down.
I think it's gonna withstand a lot more graphic stuff too. More graphic stuff probably.
I can see it being handheld, but I could see something being done when you connect it to the new dock.
Here's what it's going to be. We shatter all your expectations. It's still going to be 30 FPS locked, and it's going to be 1080p now instead of like fucking 700p. And then it'll have a slightly better battery, and that's it.
That's it.
Honestly, that's probably the most realistic approach that I'm down to support at this point, because I've had this Switch for a while and I'm enjoying it, and god damn, it's starting to sound like my PlayStation, that when I'm playing Rise on all this content on my Switch, so it sounds like it's gonna take off from my.
Bro, you know what? It's
Better
so
ventilation would be fucking amazing for the
Yeah.
Switch.
Actually, yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
see them going like 60 frames because fucking even the PS5 and stuff, the games are still like fucking 30 FPS capped on some things. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't
You know what?
man.
Let it run the same way it does now, but just let it run better the way it does now. Like if I see a bunch of explosions on my, actually, yeah. If I fucking go hang out in the fucking flooded forest and fucking Rise, I don't see this, but I cannot stop hearing from people saying, "Oh my god, everything's frame by frame. I can't see what's happening."
You can't see
I
it?
carded.
In the flooded forest,
I don't see
you
it.
don't see
I don't
that.
see
Knock
it
on wood,
either.
I don't see it. I don't
You
see it.
guys
but
are
everyone
fucking
is-
high as shit or something. The flooded forest is so
Bro.
bad.
Bro, that's
I don't see it.
I'm seriously not kidding. I don't see it, but I know it exists. I know it exists.
Here's how you can tell how bad it is. Go grab a gun, Moko, and try shooting in the flooded forest.
I gun all the time. I be fighting narcocougars in the forest for
No. You grab a bow.
Grab a bow?
No, you use bow. You don't use like a heavy bow gun or something.
All right. I'll
Like,
take my Pierce bow out there.
Just try shooting and like seeing all the particle effects, and then you're gonna see like you don't shoot when you click because the fucking frame drops, and then you're just
I
fucking
have
missing
not
shots
had
everywhere.
frame rate
I have
issues.
never had frame rate issues in Rise.
I have not had frame rate
Guys are
issues.
fucking full of shit because
No, I've
it's
never
awful.
had frame rate issues. When did you get your Switch?
I got
It's really old.
Mine is slightly newer. It's within like 3 years or so.
Oh man.
Have you had these issues, Brian?
hit or miss. But it's like if I have a full party of heavy bow guns, bro, I hate it.
Wait, why?
You're like ready to lift off, dude. It's terrifying.
Yeah, you know, a
It's
stable
like
30
you do,
frame.
you do like all mother or whatever, dude. When there's so much going on the screen, it's terrifying.
Oh, because like you see all the effects and everything going on the monster, or
That's
You're
not a
seeing
Switch
a
issue,
Narwhal,
that's fucking
bro.
Rise issue.
Yep.
I don't know why the particle effects are so ridiculously anime in that game. They don't need to be, and you can't even turn them down.
100% crit, rapid fire Pierce. Let's go.
Jesus
You
Christ.
want to see every just You want to crash someone's Switch? That's what you do. You do that. You go join their party with a rapid fire fucking go. That's what I've been doing. People
It's
just
like
cart me
as Kushala, bro. Like your PC will chug.
Hey, Ostra too and Rise. Yo,
Yeah,
this
Ostra's
particle
bad.
effects. I remember playing with Pecco.
Bad.
Pecco's like, oh shit, I can't see anything. Ostra decided to sprinkle, and like you just see Pecco stop moving and put a shield up because Pecco can't play. Pecco's like, I can't do this.
Oh my
Stop shooting
God.
your gun, Moko. Like, okay.
That's so great.
It's that bad.
It
Wow.
is. And I'm telling you, Pecco complains about it a lot, and that's why I'm so. Fan complains about it a lot. I believe it. I believe that it exists. I don't know why it's not me. Knock on wood. Thanks, but fuck, sucks.
Oh man.
so I'm assuming with the Switch Pro, we'll probably get something that can kind of help with that. So there's not as many like frame drop issues and everything. At least I hope. I mean, what more can you do with the Switch?
Better
Yeah, I
hardware,
mean-
bro.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Want
it's going to be
to
better
keep
hardware, and all they really do need is better hardware so that the games don't chug trying to get 25, 30 frames.
Mhm.
And that's the thing about Nintendo in general. Their technology and their consoles are very, very, very far
One
behind.
generation.
They're
behind
always they're
every
always
time.
one.
They're
better,
always
one gen
behind. It's their IP that carries them. That's just
God,
Well,
that's
and dude, here's the thing about that too.
Damn it.
I don't think they've made any really good games lately either. Just
Nope.
my personal take. They haven't done anything that I really wanted. Breath of the Wild was okay, but I think it was just hyped too much. I didn't like Breath of the Wild.
I don't like
Damn.
either.
Damn.
Yeah,
It's
like
not
it
for
was cool,
everybody.
but like
It's not
it's
for everyone.
it's not a dungeon crawler like Zelda games were. Like all the dungeons, like the
Yeah.
Guardian are fucking cheese. Like they take 5 minutes to do, and the bosses are all the same. And like
That's
the little shrines, some of them are pretty cool. Like, but most of them are just like simple puzzles for 8-year-olds, which I guess is their audience. But
Just thinking
it's
about
just
that
a lot.
game.
The game
I'm
was
getting
so
triggered.
forgetful for me. Like I've never wanted to go back and play it.
Nope.
I've enjoyed my time playing it. it ended up for me in my case, like because I was playing it for the first time on stream. I ended up going for like a naked run randomly because my chat's like, oh, you got no armor. I'm like, fuck it, I'll keep it off, and just a shield and learning all these little nuances. I felt like that's what made it really fun for me, but I haven't touched it solo by myself like ever. So I feel bad because I like the idea and the premise of the game. I like the open world concepts, but also because it's sandbox essentially in a way. Yeah. As a content creator, I don't want to sit there and jump in and then think about what to do in this massive world. Like I want to play the game a little bit. It's kind of like why I like Remnant so much. Yes, it's a random element to it, but you're going in there knowing you're gonna fucking blaze and shoot some shit up and go to a specific area. So there's some structure.
With Breath of the Wild, like I had to play it a certain way. Like I had to unlock the map before I even wanted to do anything. So I like just ran around and did all the shrines, and it was like, might be just the way that I chose to play it, but it was so like repetitive and just not fun and just boring, and I hated fucking cooking and making buffs and
actually
like I hated that. I hated the stamina gauge. I hated just the music. I was just like
it's
very forgettable Zelda game for me, dude.
It's like I think part of the problem with gaming now in general is there's a million fucking ways to do anything, and I think giving players that many choices in a way, not that you were playing quote unquote the right or the wrong way, Faye, but you may have chosen a playstyle that was
I chose the way to play it
exciting for you.
Yeah, well, but that was the only way I wanted to do it. Like I wanted to unlock the map
because you had that option. But now, what if you had a game where, like the older Legend of Zelda games, where you could play it however you want, but there was a certain way that it just didn't work. So you kept dying or something, and you had to change something. And that's essentially that's the devs teaching you, all right, I know you want to play it this way, but you keep dying this way because it's so hard. What if you tried this? And then you might have felt better because you overcame something, or you might have learned something. That's how creating a game works. I felt like we were giving so much freedom with Breath of the Wild that having the ability to play the game the way you wanted, which isn't a bad thing, is great. But at the same time, it can leave you, it's almost like getting a bad good ending in a story. Like you fall short and you're just like, you don't feel complete. Like you played the game the way you wanted and you were like, yes, I'm doing it, but at the same time you're like, I don't know. That's
like it's a good game. It's a really good game in and of itself, but it's not the Zelda game that I was like waiting for and like hoping for. Like, and no, I didn't like the music. I thought the music was really boring. To me, like when I think of Legend of Zelda, I think of like Gerudo Valley, that fucking island in Wind Waker with the little people with the beaks.
Gerudo Valley.
I didn't think about it.
Gerudo, tomato. You want to fight? Huh? You wanna go?
Valley, bro.
That's why they put you on that side of the screen. Above each other. She has the high ground, fam. Fucking stop.
Like Breath of the Wild for me, I personally loved because it was like my first Switch game. I was blown away with what the Switch was able to handle at that time. But
I see that. Yeah.
But
it runs great on the Wii U. Sorry to interrupt you, but the Breath of the Wild runs great.
I played it on the Wii U.
Oh, really?
It looks really good.
Was it on the Wii U? I never played on the Wii U. I never owned the Wii U before.
Version ever.
Twilight Princess on the GameCube. Man, it was
I love Twilight Princess.
So good.
But
Twilight Princess graphics were fucking good.
I just like the flexibility, and then one way, like that one playthrough I did on Master Mode really like changed my opinion on Breath of the Wild because it makes you think quite a bit. Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
There's that challenge that I was talking about.
I would go back and play Master Mode for fun.
That's good. I feel like the Master Mode is a very good way to like kind of introduce that. And but I was thinking
you could play Master Mode on your first playthrough.
Oh yeah, you can. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Trials of the Master Sword too was such a complex. Like it was so rewarding. It took me like altogether like 36 hours, I think.
Jeez, that long?
Yeah, it was
tough. It's really tough.
Like every trial you go without like armor, and you have to like store weapons and just get really creative. And the problem is with Master Mode, everything with durability breaks in like 2 hits. So you got to get really creative.
Oh, man,
that got really annoying really quick.
Fucking hated that. How could I forget that in my list of things I hated about Breath of the Wild? How could I forget that, man? It's like number one. Holy shit.
Oh, man. But you mentioned as well, I do not remember much of the music from Breath of the Wild at all. Like, now that you mentioned it, that doesn't really the
It's
most
beautiful piano, very atmospheric, very fitting for the tone.
Yeah, like it was.
Not for a Zelda game for me. It's not what I imagined, what I envisioned. So I was just disappointed.
I can understand
it's all
that.
good. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was definitely. I feel like the most memorable thing about it was the atmosphere and like the different kind of locations that you would walk into, because it's very beautiful. Like you can look out into the horizon and it's like gorgeous.
Yeah, it's stunning.
The draw distance is crazy.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
you could see literally one of the big, like, I don't know what they're called, the one of the big the Guardians walking in the background as you're like looking. That is crazy. I feel like that's actually crazy. But yeah, I feel like the music wasn't really memorable for me.
I think if you, I mean, like talking to some of the NPCs or like all the champions had their own ballads and stuff, and they were really pretty.
Yeah.
But I like that's only that's only like 5% of the game. I get where you're coming from. Like the whole time you're listening to like Minecraft music when you're walking around. It's just like
It's like a whole package, and like you said, that's just 5% of the game, and you're like, it was great. It's a beautiful ballad, but at the same time, I'm listening to it once, twice, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Dude, I hated the environmental effects too. Like I know, like those are not like Breath of the Wild is not like specific to that. Like so many other games do that. You know, where you have to wear a coat. You gotta wear a coat in the cold area, and in the hot area you need that heat resistance potion. Like I don't want to fuck with that. I don't want to do that.
You do that in Monster Hunter.
Give me a red tunic. I hated every second of it. I hated every second.
I remember having to carry a fire weapon on me because I did my naked playthrough in the snow. Just have it on me to stay warm. And then when I was fighting the boss, I'd switch weapons, smack. My health starts going down. I'm like, oh, gotta put the fire weapon back on and just leave it on my back. It was a chore.
I hated it. Like, cool mechanic, not for me. I know I'm nitpicking right now, but like, dude,
I like the rain slipping on the rocks.
It rained every fucking second in that
lightning
game.
You're
about climbing,
like,
rain.
Random lightning just hits you. Of course.
Oh, okay.
You better get rid of this. I'm getting heated, man.
Eating 100 apples to kill them, dude. You eat like 30 apples? Running low on some apples?
Yeah. Dude, all I did was collect hardy durians in that game.
Yep.
Hardy durians all day. That was my whole stream.
Like
hey guys, getting hardy durians today.
I'll just Google like a playthrough of Breath of the Wild, and some homie's doing it in like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, or some shit, and you're like, how the hell? They're like swapping shields, bang, bang. It is. Or have you seen the trick shots people do too?
Yeah,
with a bow.
A lot of those.
They'll be like, bop, and then like, all right, watch this, and then do the stupid fucking trick, and they fly halfway across the map, and then they land somewhere, and then there's a poor bokoblin just walking, just done. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy, dude. People are crazy. I don't know. It's a good game, but not my favorite.
Not for a Zelda game for you, like what you're.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that's really fair.
I have a question.
Well, that's why
sorry. No, you go. No, if you're.
No.
I was gonna lead on to something. Okay, fine. What did you guys feel was the most memorable? This is like a question for chat too, if you guys want. What did you guys feel is the most memorable for music wise? Would it be Monster Hunter Rise or World? I know this is another like World and Rise comparison, but I feel like I stuck with the Rise music more than I did with World when I was playing it.
So like Monster Hunter uses the same tracks from monsters a lot and just kind of like remixes them for the new the returning monsters. And I feel like Rise had a couple decent tracks for like Magna Malo and stuff, but other than that, it was just like the same music we've already heard. I think the only thing that World really got that made it really stand out was its Proof of a Hero theme and and then what was the other one? I can't think of World stuff. Rotten Vale, fight music and Rotten Vale.
Yeah, that was
rock, dude.
Monster Hunter
World, definitely
World,
the primo music.
Arc-tempered Nergigante.
Oh yeah. Cold. Arc-tempered cold.
That's what stuck with me.
Moko be like, drop the mic, bitch.
Okay, so yeah, World had much better
I love
music.
Rise's style of music actually way more than World, but the one song I remember hearing where I actually carded because I was like playing and then I heard the thing, I was like, holy shit. And then I got dive bomb, arc tempered Nergigante. And I said, you know what,
Not even
Nergigante?
that.
Take that one, bro.
Yeah.
You have that sugar cube. Why you just take it? Just
He
take
got a
it.
dope theme.
Fayetalis theme was really good too.
Fayetalis theme
Oh,
was
yeah,
dope.
definitely,
Elatrion theme was
Yes.
Yeah, Latron was good.
Okay, so it's pretty unanimous that
Yeah.
World fucking crushed it in the sound department. Okay, actually, kind of a sidetrack on that. So the sound in World was really good, really well done, and I used to like it. Like the 3D audio that you used to have was so good that before like the Joe update, like early on, I used to do blind speed runs, or not even not speed runs, just blind runs on monsters, because you could tell where everything was through 3D audio, and it was really fucking good. And I had a blast doing that. And then they ruined it with like the next couple updates. Like the audio just fucking fell off and you couldn't tell anything anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
What? How's that happen?
I don't know, but I was really disappointed.
Dude.
It used to have some crazy good audio.
Well, I know for a fact, like Monster Hunter World, when it came out on PC, was so ass. It took me so long. Like, how many updates did it take before? Like, when Iceborne came out, you guys remember the CPU issues? Holy shit! Try
You tell me.
Oh my god.
I multi-streamed that Iceborne fucking launch with Skoy and Snooperoofu.
I remember that.
It took me 3 fucking hours just to get the game downloaded. Because the game wanted to fucking just act a fool live, and I'm sitting there, legs crossed, SkojSkull bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, looking at the screen like, this is beautiful. No proof, like, oh, this is dope. And I'm sitting here going like, I'm contemplating ending everything. Like, just my screen will go black. Moko will fall off the face of the planet, and I might just send a tweet 2 weeks later saying it is done. Period. Because I was like 3 hours of my life sitting here going like, yo, Capcom. What are you doing?
There was a point in the time where it said,
it was that bad.
It said 250 days to download, and you were like,
I sent a picture of that shit. That shit said, time to download Monster Hunter Rise for 365 days or some shit. I said, well, guys, I'll see you next year. I guess I'm not playing Iceborne. It was just bad.
Updates were long too. Like, bro, like you had a high texture pack on top of that. Holy shit!
It was super
That was
stressful.
part of the problem for some of us. We had that checked off, and that was what screwed the pooch for you. If you didn't realize you were downloading the HD texture pack and you were running a fucking GTX 960, and you made that fatal mistake, yo, you deserve to be standing there. I was one of those fools. I had like a fucking 1060 or some shit running. I was like, all right, I guess I'll play Monster Hunter.
Oh my
Dude,
god,
something about
dude.
Coco being heated
That's
is just
gnarly.
the best thing I could ever hear.
that made my
I
day.
love it. Dude, you're always like so chill and fucking relaxed on stream. It's just so
Look at him.
right now he's just like stress.
Yeah, that made my fucking day.
God.
You don't get to see me like this often, but god damn it, you're gonna see it today.
Phemeto just sitting there playing World of Warcraft, like, yeah,
I am
Moko getting real heated right now.
action from Moko.
Fem's like, all right, Moko's time to ranting. Let's heal some bitches and wow, let's go.
Oh man.
The Fem is
I
just playing WoW
appreciate
right
the
now.
passion for Monster Hunter.
Damn. God,
Fair enough.
bless
It was-
What else do we want to talk about
I mean,
with
this-
Rise?
The stress with like download updates is really crazy when you're trying to make footage and record videos for it. Because I'm usually not, I'm streaming. I'm usually recording when the updates come out. And I have one of my friends that live in, I think Belgium, and his, and whatever internet he has is like really, really bad. And so we would have to wait for like an hour or so before we could finally start recording. And it was like really stressful because I want to get the stuff out there as soon as possible. I'm like,
Well, I also didn't like that they would have, like, they said, oh yeah, update's coming sometime at the end of the month. And then we didn't know
Yes.
until
Yes.
we're like, oh yeah, here, we're going to have an announcement. And then like, oh yeah, it's today. And I'm like, well, fuck it, I have plans.
You know what the
Caitlin
worst
makes
thing
fun
about
of me
Capcom
so
is,
much
too?
about that shit. Oh,
So insane.
Capcom will literally not allow us to pre-download, and then it's like it's just right when the update comes out, and you have to just sit there. And like for me, my data here in Utah sucks. So like everyone's like streaming the cool content, and I'm just
like,
here waiting for it.
Like Caitlin knows at this point, I'll tell her, be like, hey babe, something's gonna come out on Friday for Monster Hunter, so I'm gonna be streaming all day Friday. She's like, I bet. She doesn't tell me. She clears the calendar for Thursday. And every date I tell her, she does the day before, because she knows there's some weird ass twist of fate, because we all misunderstand everything, and we live here. We should know this by now, everybody. But no, she's like, all right, and I'm like, oh my god, babe, it's coming up right now, actually. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, your update, Dom.
Wait, it's live.
27.
I'm like,
you mean the 26th?
and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
She's like,
update some times for us Americans, bro. We're kind of dumb.
And I'm sitting here like fucking calculating everything. I'm like Googling like, all right, what is this time in Japan time converted? And then it just never works. It never works.
I literally convert every time.
Well, and also it changes. We have daylight savings over here. And we're like, oh, I don't know if it's 5, if it's 6, if it's the day before, the day after, and yeah.
Remember the launch of Rise? How that worked out?
Oh my
People
god!
just all over the world.
That was so weird.
Everyone,
craziest
the
launch.
first time I got to play the game, I was playing with only people from Australia, because for whatever reason, Australia's like, hey mate, yo, we got access. Like, hey, we got it. Meanwhile, like on a fucking longitude latitude level, everyone directly above them was like, yo, I still didn't get the game yet. And we're like, what?
It's crazy, because like even the people that had early access, there were people that had it before the people that had early access.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Amazon shipped copies out to people. They were streaming it like 3-4 days before the game actually came out.
Free2Podcast. That was a good mistake.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
I remember that.
It was funny. I remember someone posting a picture of that on Twitter.
I was like, this is a good sign. This is going to be a great game.
At Amazon, are you okay? And like Monster Hunter right in their hand, like,
Yep.
Region
it was quite the clusterfuck of a launch, that's for sure.
It was pretty nuts.
Very interesting. I was looking at like the live feed for like Rise. I'm like, oh, this is a part of the demo. That's a most I haven't seen before. Okay, this is not the demo.
Yep. Warning. It's not the demo. Warning.
Warning. Warning.
Warning.
Spoilers.
Warning. Oh man.
Oh look,
man.
it's a Tyrannodon in the demo. Oh fuck, that's not the demo.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
man.
But
Ridiculous.
In terms of content and everything that we're getting for, I don't know what more they can show for like E3 for like Monster. I was surprised even to see Monster Hunter on the list of things to show at E3.
Oh, is it actually on the list?
It's on the list. Rise.
Oh,
and
Tetracabra, the return, bro. I'm just waiting.
Dude, can we get Tetracabra and Zamtrios, the frogs? Can we have a frog trio with Tetranodon, Tetracabra, and Zamtrios?
Ooh, okay, I'll take that.
Like,
that's gonna be
please?
interesting.
I got deodorant.
All three at the same time in that new arena.
Bro. I
want to see more quests in that new arena.
That would be cool too.
That'd be fun.
I don't want Kongala. I don't like him. I fought him in 4 Ultimate. I can't. I'm sorry.
I don't like any of the apes really. Like
Blungala can stay where they are. Stay far away from me. Stop giving me monsters that need deodorant. Also, stop it. I want to heal my friends.
Bovidon sucks, bro. I cannot stand that monster in Rise.
Which one?
Voivodon or whatever. Vovidon.
Yeah,
Vovidon. I think.
Anteater.
Yeah, I
remember Fem was like, "Yo, there's no monsters that give you that the stinky effect." I was like, "Wait, Volvidon does?" Like, oh,
nah, dude, you guys put
keep him
Volvidon
alive long enough.
No, you guys cannot talk. Yeah,
you guys put Volvidon like fucking S tier in your tier list.
He's a much
Basarios.
Basarios is B tier, bro.
That's fine. Basarios is way better. Basarios and Volvidon are much better fights than their older ones, for
They
sure.
got improved.
They got improved. Much better.
Dude,
We were talking on the scale of improvement.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't watch that.
My opinion on Narwhal is a lot different too.
Yeah. Oh my
I still
god.
don't like Narwhal. I don't like that an Elder Dragon invades just to get wire bugged. Fuck that fight. It's so dumb.
dude. I hate
The
it.
music
cool.
and aesthetic is great. But
Here's your cannon.
Well, and like Ibushi, like it's just paper fodder. Like he does no damage even to a gunner. He does like a sixth of your health on a hit, and he dies in like 5 seconds. It's like,
you just
okay,
gotta light him up in the All Mother quest.
Yeah,
and,
it's like the most
Remember the first time I played the All Mother
shooting
quest?
him.
I was like going ham with everybody, and then like it fell down, and I didn't see anything, so I'm going in blind. And I remember completely going against Ibushi still during that All Mother fight, and then I didn't realize that Narwhal pulled the praying mantis on him, and I thought he just went down, and I'm still shooting him.
Me too.
I didn't
know.
stop shooting him until homie disappeared. Like he said, "I'm not feeling so good, Mrs. Narwhal," and just went boom. It like was gone. I was like, "Oh shit." And then I looked at Narwhal finally after that, and then I see the color variation and everything. I was like, oh my god, she ate him.
She
He's dead.
him.
I was like, oh, and then like everything just changed. I was so, and then the pillars, my favorite move is that pillar move. I hated it to death, but that weird pillar move.
Dragonator.
I was like,
they
yo,
took
like
that from the mantis.
Dragonator.
I thought it was a good callback to it. I thought it was really cool. I'm like, then they saw the Safi move as well. I always call it, whenever I see that move, I was just like, oh, Safi!
I stood there and I ate it because I was fighting, and then I just hear, and I was like,
wait a minute.
oh no, that's Safi.
Yeah.
You say it's a
Like, oh,
callback.
okay.
I say they just took the Narwhal fight and slapped on moves from 2 other monsters and called it a day.
Oh my god.
That
There was
move's
one time where I triple
Pillars.
carded to those pillars by accident, and I was like,
Those pillars are funny, bro.
You gotta
Those
wait
pillars are
till like
funny.
I always like go in the middle of the map, like under
Yeah.
Narwa after like the electric goes
yeah,
away.
that's
on
what you
the
have to do.
pillar.
You have to go in the middle there, and then you won't get hit, and then you just do your little combo.
Sick.
And then you wire bug around, you know.
Oh my
You
goodness.
gotta wire bug and shoot some turrets.
Yeah. Where's my giant attack? And then it's like, oh, here's Magnamalo. Oh, you're just here to get mollywopped. Let me ride you. And just that's it. Oh, that's it. And he goes away. I'm like, oh.
You know what would have been really, really cool though? Like, because you know when they do their updates, they can sneak in a monster too, and kind of like how they did with Goose. They didn't announce him at all, and then he was just there in the quest. It would have been so much better if, you know, when the hole opened up and like the camera panned over to there, fucking Nergigante jumps down to eat the elder.
That
Like, he
would have
does.
been
And
amazing.
then that's your, hey, we snuck in fucking Nergigante.
That would have been
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. I feel like that would be like a perfect way to introduce like a new elder or like a new monster in general.
I think they just had like a hard on for fucking Magnamalo for this game because they
Well,
just
he's
wanted to
hard,
treat him so specially. Yeah, well, that's why. That's why he shows up in that fight.
Yeah, I see that.
I can see it.
It was
Still,
weird though. I didn't like it.
didn't
That was,
like it. 'Cause, like, he
I was
leaves
like,
immediately
weird.
after. Like, all the elders, they come
Ghost
in,
would come out.
and then they just as soon as you wire bug, they leave, and it's like, okay, whatever.
Thanks for
I don't know.
staying.
Yeah.
Thanks for toppling.
Yeah.
the
Why'd you show up in the
Bye,
first
have
place?
a good time.
Bye.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, what this podcast is like a whole. We talk about mental health and stuff like that too. Are there some things that you go through, Fem, with for stream mental health or content creation in general, or do you just kind of just go for it?
Dude, you want to talk about the crippling depression and anxiety and self-hatred that goes into speedrunning and making videos? Oh my god.
You know, we've never heard that side before.
No.
So
Yeah.
There's no way you have it. Like,
No,
fucking,
they have. No, listen.
If you watch one of his
watching
streams-
this podcast, I speak to Fem a lot. I'm telling you right now, from the speedrunner's perspective, they actually don't know the shit that you go through as a runner. And I'm aware of, but like the conversations we've had, Fem, this is the stage.
like,
Go.
okay, so it's kind of hard to break down, but just imagine it like, okay, so say you're doing speedruns. Well, people do not give a shit about speedruns. Monster Hunter community does not care at all. That's a thing. So if you're trying to get any sort of recognition or whatever for being good or doing speedruns, nobody gives a fuck. And people only care if you have the best time that someone can find. And, you know, good luck, because, you know, runs get dunked 10 seconds after you upload them because people take your strats and do them slightly better. And you could sit there and for hours and hours. Like for my Dread Queen run, I was trying to get like a 230 with my heavy bowgun. I ended up sticking to a 231. I spent probably 40-50 hours all week grinding that stupid fight to shave off 1 second, because I that's my self-hatred, like saying you could do better. You're always getting, hit once, or you missed one shot, or you drop this input. A lot of stuff that's not in your control, like HP rolls, or missing input because the switch is bad, or frame drops, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you spend all this time trying to do something that ultimately nobody cares about anyway, and you're trying to justify wasting weeks of your life on something that doesn't matter at all. And then like when you start thinking about that and realizing it, like I don't know, it just puts you in a really bad spot. And like it's so much up and down. Like it feels good when you get the run and you're like, okay, cool, and then you got to go do something else because
but at least you're like doing that though. Like you're doing what so many people are afraid to even try to do. Like myself, I would never ever even attempt speedrunning because I just like have that little voice like, oh, you can't do it, so just don't even try. At least you try. At least you stream your runs, dude. Like at least you even just try it, because a lot of people wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it, because if you try to get into speedruns, you're not going to be able to enjoy the game casually in any capacity. Yeah. And that's my biggest regret for doing a bunch of speedruns, is I can't play Monster Hunter for fun anymore. And that really sucks.
Man, that hurts.
That's really bad. Yeah.
It's really hard for me to pick up the game and not want to go into that state of, okay, you could do better. You need to do this better. And you need to play optimally. And just like, so like when they come out with new content, like I get the gear and then I'm like, okay, I got to go speedrun, because what else am I going to do? And I just can't. And that's why I like watching like Monster Hunter streamers and stuff that are just kind of playing casually and enjoying the game, because I don't get that anymore. And so it's really fun watching people just having fun with the game. And so, yeah, there's like, I don't know. It's not an enjoyable experience at all, and that's why I take a lot of breaks frequently and just stop. And it's just
I remember
it's like you.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead, Phil.
I was gonna say, I remember the time when you were streaming to learn Gunlance and everything. You're just playing just to play, kind of thing, to trying to get the hang of it and get the hang of it. And you were asking if I wanted to join. I was like, sure, fuck yeah, I'll join. How was that for you then? Like, did you feel like you're playing it just to have fun, or did it feel like you're playing it just to like, because you're getting to the next step for that weapon?
So for Gunlance, Gunlance was my fallback weapon to just play for fun. I never wanted to do speedruns or anything with Gunlance. And I have a lot of fucking fun with Gunlance. And I know it's like the worst weapon in the game. And so that's why I don't care about my kill times or anything. And I don't plan on doing stuff like that. And so when I do play Gunlance, I legitimately have fun, because I can't speedrun with Gunlance. It's so bad to speedrun with Gunlance. You just can't do it. So that's one of those times where like, I can actually enjoy the game. So I do love Gunlance just for that, because it forces me to slow down and not worry about kill times and not worry about being super ultra meta, and it's just fucking play.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so but
that's my safety weapon.
A little bit of that peeks through though when we do multi streams and we're fighting something and you're just like, why is this taking so long?
Yeah, but
why isn't this dead yet? Why is this fucking taking so long?
It's because we have a healer. I'm like,
no, that's why am I dead? It's like, because we have a healer.
That's true. I trusted in the potion and I died. No, I can relate to Fem a lot on that, because even though I personally don't run myself competitively, I'm very friendly with many other content creators who are in the competitive and speedrunning scene. Yeah. And I see that kind of burnout in a lot of you individuals, and I respect the grind, but I also understand how difficult it can be. And that's actually personally why I know what kind of personality I have. I'm extremely competitive. Mm-hmm. And the worst part is, not only am I competitive, I'm competitive against myself.
Yeah.
I'll set unrealistic expectations and goals and try to do these insane fucking things that I might be able to do, not easily. I'm gonna fail, but sometimes the act of failing really does take a toll on you, especially if it's a consecutive thing, or in your case, Fem, like you were saying, you were just trying to shave off 1 fucking second. And I remember those conversations, man, and it was fucking rough because I completely understood and I knew exactly how you felt when you were frustrated, bro. And it's a thing we all go through. The frustration is the same. Like the act of frustration, the feeling you get from being frustrated is the same, but it's triggered by different things. In Fem's case, it was that 1 second shave. In my case, it's from a whole multitude of myself personally going through shit and just feeling that frustration of not being where I want to be. It's the same.
Let me interject. Imagine those feelings, but like being a filthy fucking casual like myself, okay? Imagine getting that frustrated with yourself, but still being bad, okay? It feels 20 million times worse.
He's like, I want to be so good, but I don't want to put in the effort.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand speedrunning in any game for the longest time until I started playing Monster Hunter. Like, I didn't really know why people did it, and I didn't understand. But no, I get it. Like, I do get it, and I respect it, and I look up to people that do it because, you know, it does take a toll on you, and it's a lot of work, and you got to have that 5,000 IQ, you know.
Speedrunning
big brain
is way more fun to watch than Monster Hunter for sure.
Dude, yeah. People that speedrun like fucking Breath of the Wild. That's cool.
I love that.
Like
That's my favorite.
Metroid, Zelda, and Mario speedruns are like the fucking primo.
Yeah.
Because it's literally like frame by frame, perfect execution. Like you're in control. You're in that much control. Like you want to jump over to that platform all the way over there. Well, guess what? You got to actually jump on the last frame of being active on this ledge. But guess what? You can't go visually on it because you're physically off the ledge. But technically that last frame is on the ledge and you can jump up and make it like all that kind of weird shit. Yeah. That's cool because that's skill and you can get used to it. But then there's like so many things that go into it too. You need to have a certain TV, a certain setup, a certain frame, a certain this and that. And then people don't get how much gear you need. And like, it's to this day actually it's probably why Melee Smash is so popular because you need those specific type of TVs like CRTVs and things like that to play on that level that accurately, and that's why people love playing it so much because like there's just a level of intricacy that you can get, and like I know the game developers didn't expect that when it comes to running in general. The game developers don't make games for people to speedrun them. It just happens
kind of
to
break
be.
their games or in a way too.
Exactly. And if you run some even and a simple example of this, a very accessible example, are those IGN speedruns that they show the developers that people speedrun their games to them.
Well,
and they're
I think those are really cool. Because they get to showcase how much you can just crack open a game, and watching those runs, especially like Doom and other like games like Metroid, you see how many glitches and bugs and exploits there are, and then you go back to like Monster Hunter, and there's like fucking none of that. Monster Hunter is such a like soundly like coded experience that there's not a whole lot of manipulation you can do with those.
Right.
So I just thought that was really cool too.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about speedruns is like, for example, Breath of the Wild. Like people just find new things to constantly add to the existing run.
If you look at the timeline of speedruns of like with the first speedruns and then look at today and how even some of the techniques were never even used.
Is still evolving.
Still being new discoveries.
I love 64s.
New discoveries every day. It's fucking not every day, but in general, new discoveries in general. Like once someone discovers something, all the old runners who have their times are like, is that something I can use? And then they think, and they're like, shit, I got to repeat my whole run except for this part. And then they got to do it, and then they get a better time.
That is crazy. I don't know. Like I mentioned this to Jalbagel because Jalbagel speedruns like the entire Monster Hunter World game, which is crazy in itself. I mentioned it's like I kind of want to try maybe speedrun at some point. It's like no.
Again, don't speedrun a game if you like want to have fun with it ever again, because you're not. Once you start speedrunning something, you're not going to be able to not be in that mind state for it.
And they're being legitimate when they tell you this. They're not saying this because they don't want another competitor in the scene and shit like that.
No, it's like
they're legitimately saying
it's for your own good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a rabbit hole.
Really think about it.
It's a rabbit hole, man. And once you're in, you're not going to look at shit the same. You're just not going to enjoy it the same. And that's legit.
One thing I really admire about you, Fem, is like Yeah, like one thing a lot of people don't understand about speedrunners is how, like when you record, that run was probably like your 1,000th run, right? Like how much work goes in. I don't think people really acknowledge that, and it's pretty crazy how much effort you put in and the consistency and man, I can't imagine like always pressing record and then you're like 2 seconds off of your time,
Yeah,
and then you
that's
just have to do it all over again.
I think that's more of a Monster Hunter thing in general, because Monster Hunter's got a weird like stigma with its runs where because they make it look so easy that people think that it's not challenging at all compared to like other games where, I mean, because all speedrunning's the same. You're always, you know, doing hundreds of runs to get the one good one that you want to upload or show off or whatever. But I don't know, Monster Hunter is just weird in that people don't think about that at all. They just think, oh, this monster's hard, or this monster's not hard, or okay, well then you're just cheating because you're doing this, or you know, you're not playing.
Oh
the game.
yeah.
It's just like that's not what it's about, like at all. Like I don't know, like, Monster Hunter's got just a weird stigma about it, which I mentioned. Like nobody cares about Monster Hunter speedruns. It's not like other games. Like when records get broken in like fucking Mario games or Zelda games, fucking people know. Like it's around the internet, and like GDQ is such a huge thing for like speedruns, and I really love watching GDQ, and you get to watch all these new techs and all sorts of stuff get showcased. But like people care about it and people love it, but like Monster Hunter, they really don't.
Maybe it comes from like a place of like people just being jealous. Like
It's not. No, it's not. It's people just they don't understand or don't like want to look into that part of Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is such a small game anyways. It's just the audience isn't there for it.
Here's an interesting point with that though. I had the pleasure of sitting down with TDS Chris in Boston during the Festa, and in a conversation we've had, we actually did touch upon speedrunning in general. And speedrunning, and Fem's right to a point where people in the West don't look for speedrunning in Monster Hunter. In an English-based audience out here in the United States and on this side of the world, the audience out here really doesn't search into running monsters efficiently all that much. There's a niche community of it, but also it's a much smaller demographic of people here. But on sites like Bilibili and just YouTube, but out there where Chris is, yeah, they actually do follow it a lot more, but then they are in their own bubble, so to speak. You really don't see them talking outside of that bubble too much. You see people like Pochi running and stuff like that on that side, and they post their runs on other sites, and it'll go around, not to the extent of some other stuff like Fem said. He said you got a Mario run, you got Zelda runs, even Pokemon runs. Sometimes you hear about that, but in Monster Hunter, it just doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, people like sometimes people use games for like an escape. Like they just want to escape and like casually play through something and have fun and just get lost. And so when they see a speed run in any game, it's almost like you look at it and your like first thought is like, what the hell is this? Like this person's like ruining the game or something. You know what I mean?
But see, I don't think people think that about other games. I think that's an exclusively to like a Monster Hunter. Like who's ever had that thought on any like Mario game?
Do you think that has to do with something with the fact that Monster Hunter is much newer and hasn't been around as long as Zelda and Mario?
I don't think so.
Maybe exposure to the Western audience.
Yeah, it's more of a Western audience thing.
I think it's
also that.
I mean, when Sekiro first came out and I was playing it, I was struggling with it, and I was looking up on YouTube some stuff, and I found some dude speedrunning Sekiro like the first 2 days the game was out, and the dude was just like swimming through the air doing a speed run, and my first initial thought was, why the fuck would you want to do that? I'll be completely honest. I was like, why
2 days after the game comes out,
swimming
right?
through the air, like, and I'm over here like struggling, you know what I mean?
Seeing something like that where I see that tech, like they land just right on edge or something, they land in the water, and then all of a sudden they're through the wall and they're taking it
just
everywhere,
like swimming through the sky. I'm like, and he's like fucking speed running the game
too,
beating it in 20 minutes. I'm like, okay,
because of this.
Do you guys think it's advertising? Like, do you think it's not being advertised enough? Or because like whenever people see the game, they have no idea what it is. I don't know.
I think if you're looking at a speedrun for a game, you probably know what it is.
Yeah. if you're actively, it's not like Faye happened to fall on it, but
yeah, I was just
general-
on YouTube and it was like 20-minute speedrun Sekiro. I'm like, what the hell? So I click on it and this dude just swimming through the sky. I'm like, what? How do you do this?
Well, it wasn't a how, it was more a why.
Yeah,
Why?
exactly. No, it's exactly it. Yep. Why would you do that?
And I get that. That was actually my first thought when I saw like Dark Souls 3 speedruns, because like all it is like a parry glitch, and then you just walk
Exactly.
across the air, get to the end. You're like, all right, I guess that was the
So
thing.
unfucking interesting, dude. Not
Right.
interesting at all.
And well, that's what I don't get about like Monster Hunter speedruns, because it's just fighting a monster. Like
You're playing the game.
That's the game.
Yeah.
You're doing it
okay.
like in a super efficient way. It's not like you're running glitches out of bounds and then doing some like input memory edit code and then the game ends.
I think a very jarring example of what we're trying to talk about for those that may not understand what we're touching upon right now is that Monster Hunter, like Fem said, is a very well-built netcode and such where you can't really exploit it that much, so you have to play the game to do it. If you look at a game sometimes like Dark Souls or the parry glitch, or my favorite is Doom Eternal, where there's like certain speedruns where they do certain things with the game.
Oh yeah, it's just conservation of momentum.
Yes, constant plays on things that are in the game that allow them to do things that you never would think you'd be able to do. And a lot of it is out of bounds gameplay and things like that. Things that developers can literally hard code the wall in and stop. I think that's what separates it, because speedrunning in itself can kind of turn into two categories where it's like, are you playing the game legitimately, or are you looking to break the game to get to the end as fast as possible? Those two groups in themselves, like I'm sure Faye saw happen to come across a longer playthrough speedrun, but it was a legitimate run of the game where like this person just really knew their timing and really knew the way they went through the game.
Categories in like any percent glitch list, or anything goes.
But now how are we supposed to, how did you find out about this stuff? Because I know I casually just happened to look at a bunch of YouTube videos and I learned any percent glitch means this, any percent this, any percent legit.
I learned watching GDQ for like 10 years. Like
GDQ is actually probably a big way to help learn and explain. If you're trying to learn what speedrunning is and just what different kind of categories, and that's a big term there that Fem's saying, categories. Look that up and learn a little bit, because sometimes you might find something that you enjoy. But like Fem's also said, don't do it unless you might not enjoy the game as much.
The best part about GDQ is when you have good commentators explaining what the player is doing and how glitches work and why you're doing stuff. That kind of insight and knowledge is exactly
it's key.
Why I started doing like my content for YouTube and just kind of explaining, okay, this is how you do the most damage, because that's all Monster Hunter is.
The meta. The biggest, the best damage.
Yeah. I mean, from a casual standpoint, being completely honest, like if I sit down and watch a bow speedrun in Monster Hunter World, it's extremely intimidating to like sit down and see someone play that well. Like that could be, that could be a reason why a lot of people just kind of turn their noses to Monster Hunter speedrunning, because I'm telling you, dude, they look at it and they're like, oh my fucking God, how is this person playing this well? Like when I'm struggling killing like a non-tempered, whatever, it's intimidating, dude. And that's coming from someone who's super casual. It's super intimidating to see. So
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that being a very
valid
reason.
That's a great point, actually. Yeah. Thank you for that honesty.
Well, fuck yeah. Just being honest. But so what else? What else, guys?
Unless that pretty much covers everything.
Is that it? Okay, cool.
I think so. Unless it's...
That was fun. That was a good 2 hours almost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not since we started, but
yeah. But I guess we'll end it off here. This is for the YouTube video, but thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to the Free2Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter,
TikTok.
TikTok.
We're on TikTok now.
Link in the description down below.
Description.
Wait, can you post stuff like this to TikTok? I thought TikTok was like 10-second videos or something.
I just take those 10-second videos and put them on there.
Dude, TikTok is like a minute long. You can have long clips on TikTok.
3 minutes now.
don't do any of that
You
shit.
can watch a
There you go.
movie now. I'm just kidding.
You should post your speedrun there.
Scrolling through.
Dude, I wonder if I could do that. If I could do like a speed run for a monster and get it on TikTok, bro. For like 30 seconds.
That'll be the goal. Yeah.
Fucking do. I'm dead serious. Do
TikTok
it.
run.
It's
Do
really
it.
fast commentary. Like, just get it all out in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
We'll see you all in the next one.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
All right, well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for being here,
thank
dude.
you for having me.